Twitch and YouTube at the same time? Y'all, this is the start of a new beginning. Oh my gosh, this is the start of a new beginning. And we got our new schedules up, streaming every Sunday at 3. This is the wave, okay? This is what we're going to do. This is the new stream schedule, all right? We finally figured out a way how to make it work. So we're going to do it. Every stream, Sunday at 3. And eventually there will be more and more planned streams. But for now, it's every Sunday. So y'all make sure you're coming up on here. Bring your moms, baby. Welcome, everybody, to the Noisy Fox stream. I hope y'all having a good ass day, because my day has been so productive, so fantastic, so great. A lot of thinking going on a lot of things that I want to accomplish in life and a lot of things that I want to experience. But today has been good nonetheless, and I hope you guys had a good day, because we got a whole lot to talk about. Let me make sure my audio is... No, I don't got the vibes. See, I always got to make sure the vibes is playing on y'all, and so y'all be grooving too, not just me. Okay, so we got that going on, and that's great. See, I have been doing a lot of experimenting with a lot of what the world is and a lot of the responses and the reactions that people give to me in response to my experimenting. Because for me, if I read a book, say if I read a book, or if I hear someone talk about something on how to do something, or if I research this new science or whatever it may be, I like to be the person to do that in real life as soon as possible when I listen to it, or when I take in that knowledge, just to make sure and see if it's actually real, if it's actually true. Because you can't just listen to something, or you can't just read a book, or you can't just, take in some type of information and not verify it by doing it in real life. Because I found that it doesn't matter what you know. If you do it in real life, it will always be different than what you learned from the external force. Nature is always a different type of researcher or type of thing to practice something. Because, for example, like when I learned how to meditate, I did not rely on what the online sources may say, what YouTube may say, or what other people may say. I just, I said, I'm going to take all this information and I'm going to do it myself. And now I have the way on how I meditate personally. And this works for me. And it is not literally on what you would find online, because people have these different types of ways you got to do things online. And it's just like, there's not only one way on how to do things. And I do not believe at all everything of what I see on the internet, because of what nature is teaching me. Like, for example, 1 + 1, we say it's 2. But if you look at nature and you look at animals getting the groove time, 1 + 1 = 3. But hey, at this point, I don't know anything anymore. I don't know anything. And this is why I make sure to always validate something in real life. That's why I always say, don't believe anything I say on the stream. Don't believe everything you hear, see, smell, blah, blah, blah. Just make sure that you always practice it in real life, because your real life practice will always be different than what you learn from an external force. And that is what I learned. So leading up to that, this is why this video is titled Why You Must Always Omit Happiness and Good Vibes When You're Around People. You always must. And I've been practicing this for a while, and I've just been seeing the transformation. The transformation is so great. And this is not debunking any type of religion. This is not saying, oh, you should not do this or that. This is simply a way on how to make yourself feel a little bit better and others people feel a little bit better wherever you are. And I was watching this motivational video one day, and it was like, people have a work-life balance. Shouldn't life come before work? Because if your life is happier, your work is better. Prince EA. And I was just thinking about this. I remember watching this video a long time ago, and it made me cry. It was a long time ago, before I was, bringing your mom, boy. Way before that. And it made me cry, and I just popped up on my algorithm not too long ago, and I watched it, and I was like, exactly, this is the reminder I needed. So he was like, if you're not going to be happy at your job, if you're not going to be happy at your job, if your job is not happy, then bring more joy into your life. And not only into your life, bring more joy into your job. Because with the 9-to-5 construct that we got going on, where people got to go to job all the time, through Monday through Friday, with all these constructs that they got going on in the matrix, where people got to show up, they got to work and work and work for all these hours for a paycheck at the end. Sometimes that may not be happy, and that's not happy for a lot of people on the planet. So how do you omit happiness even in a state where you're not happy? Well, what I've been practicing is, a lot of the times I've been practicing different ways on different states that I am in when I wake up and when I go to bed. And I'm working on this way on programming my mind differently, and it's going really well. It's going really well. I'm starting to notice a lot of things. I'm starting to notice different thoughts come in my mind, and the thoughts that I had ago that were bad are starting to leave my mind and being replaced. And I also started to realize that the voice in your head, or whatever you may call it, the ego, is now starting to motivate instead of demotivate. And with this new motivation and this new being in a state of gratitude, I started to realize that things just started to happen automatically for me. Like, at first, I would go on a job, and it would just be, job. It would just be job. I don't call it work. I call it job. This is work. What I'm doing right now is work. This is work. But going to that 9-to-5, job. That's job. I job. I don't work there. I job there. That's it. I make my own English, because English is a horribly unreliable language. Very unreliable. I job there. And when I job there, I started to realize that after saying thank you a lot and waking up with gratitude and going to sleep with gratitude, it changes your subconscious state. And what I started to realize is I had more of a smile, and I started to find different ways onto how I can have a smile longer in the workplace, even though it's the job. Even though it's the job and people may not be happy, there's always a way on how to experience happiness on the inside. There's always a way. Happiness is a choice. That's what I realized. It's a choice. It's not a feeling that you have when you do something. It's not a feeling that you have when you see something. It's not a feeling that you can experience with the senses. It's actually a choice. Happiness is like a different you that you step into and you literally become in that present moment. That's how I view it. Because when people say, oh, I want to do this to become happy, I don't think you can become happy off of doing something. I think that is joy. I think joy is a misconception with happiness. At least this is how I view it. I think joy is temporary. I think happiness is more of like a state that you just jump into, and you can become that or you cannot become that. This is why I say it's choice. And I don't think joy and happiness is the same thing. I don't. Because what I have found is that if I can have a smile and I can feel this invigorating sense of like happiness, people would call it, or invigorating sense of like joy, whatever you want to call it, I felt that eventually that smile will go back to a straight face. So I can't call that happiness, because happiness for me is a state that you can choose to be in or you cannot choose to be in. And joy is that state that comes off of that emotional reaction, but eventually goes back to the source. And that source may be your straight face, because you're not always going to have a literal smile. Unless you taped your lips, the point where you're gonna have a smile, you're not gonna always have that smile. And I think that temporary emotional reaction is joy. I don't think happiness is an emotion. I think happiness is more of a state of mind. And that thing is when people say, oh, I want to do this to become happy, I don't think that doing something can make you happy. I think doing something can make you joyful. And this is why you have to make sure in any time you are in a space where you are, let's say you're not happy, or let's say you're not the best, you just don't feel the best. Maybe there are people around you who just ain't vibing with you, cuz. Whatever the case may be, you always got to make sure you bring some joy. And this is why joy. Here's what I found. I go into job and I always emit a smile. It's just habit at this point. It's habit. I come in there, even if the people aren't vibing with me, cuz. Even if they ain't vibing. But it's like, when you come in with this smile, it's like people start to view you a different type of way. And I feel like when you smile in a place where people aren't necessarily feeling their best, you actually raise their vibration just a little bit, and you actually make them feel a little joy. Think about it. If you go into a room and you see everyone has a sad face, why would you naturally be the one that is like, oh my God, this place is so happy? Not gonna do that. You're gonna read the room and you're gonna be like, damn, this place got a kind of depressed feeling. No, you're not gonna be like, this is the happiest place on earth. You ain't gonna do that. But when you are that one, out of all those people, sad face, and you are the one smiling, and you are the one laughing, and you are the one radiating so much motivation and inspiration to others, it can go a long way. Because that smile and that motivation, that inspiration that you give other people who had a smile, who had a sad face before coming in, you can literally change the whole room to conform to that joyful state. Depending on how you deal with the people who will try to bring that vibration down, because it will always happen. There'll always be duality. You come into a room and you spread joy, blah, blah, blah. You spread so much happiness, giggles, laughs, blah, 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 whatever it may be. There will always be, depending on the quantity of the people, there will always be that one person or two people or three people who will be like, why are you so damn happy? Like, why are you so weird? Or they'll be like, oh, I hate you for that. This is actually something that was told to me. So I'm going off of experience here. There will always be that person that will be like, why is he so happy? Like, don't be happy. Just chill out. And this is what I realized happened, because it goes all back to the 7 Hermetic principles. And one of the 7 Hermetic principles is the principle of polarity, meaning that there is always an opposite. If there is always an opposite, then there can never be just happy. There can never be just joy. There can never be just good vibes. There's always gonna be, say, who ain't just vibing with you, cuz? Who just ain't vibing with you, cuz? Oh my God. And this is what I started to see with a lot of people coming into an area where, it's not necessarily happy. Because I don't know about y'all, but every job I went to, everyone who I experienced that goes to job, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. Do you want to be there? Do you want to be at your job? Do you necessarily want to be at your job? And if you really love your job, if you really find joy in your job, ask yourself then, will you do it for free? If you will do it for free, then you love your job. There's no doubt about it. But if you don't, and you only showing up there for the money, you don't love it. You don't love it. I make music. Now, there was a long period of time where I made music and didn't care about the money. I ain't doing it to get paid. I ain't doing it. I decided to do it because I genuinely had a love for it. That's the difference between when you love something and when you don't love something. You see, you always got to bring in the equation of money, because money is a great determining factor as to if you love that thing. If you go to the job every day and you expect a paycheck, you don't love it. You're there for the money and that's it. You're there because you feel you need to be there. That's why you're there. So if you're going to be there regardless to get that money, don't let that money bring you down. Don't let, oh, I got to be here for 8 hours. Don't let that bring you down. Don't let the people around you who are like, why are you so happy? Just be sad. Don't let that bring you down. What you got to do is you gotta walk in and just practice having a smile. Now, this is the thing. When you practice having a smile, you will notice that there will always be people who will say, "Why are you smiling? Don't smile." There'll always be people who will try to put that smile on you down. There'll always be that type of person. But you got to realize this is testing. This is the universe testing you. You know what? Why? This is the universe testing you. Why does he need to smile? Like, why does he need to be happy? Let's see his resolve. Let's see his resolve. So the universe likes to throw in tests. It likes to throw in people around you to try and bring you down, but it's to challenge you. It's not to hurt you. The universe always wants to see you win. And I don't know why. I don't know why when I explain this to some people, it's controversial. Yosha boss. Hello. I'm glad to see you in the chat. Hope you are doing very well. Bless. Gratitude to you. I am grateful for you. I hope you are enjoying your day. But you see, Yosha boss, if you didn't know what was going on before, we were talking about why you need to omit happiness and joy around you whenever and wherever you are. It doesn't matter where you are, you always got to omit that happiness. But if you omit a smile, like I said before, there'll always be that one person or that two people who will try and bring you down. And it's not the universe telling you, "Hey, you suck." No. This is why everyone needs to read the book, The Alchemist. Everyone needs to read this book. Every single person on the planet needs to read this book. It's not an informational book. It's not an educational book. It is mostly a motivational book. And there's a quote from there. It says, "And when you want it, all of the universe conspires in your favor to get it." The universe always wants you to win. There is no, well, maybe, no. It's always working for you. Always. There is no, the universe wants you to not win. There is no, the universe wants you to be unhappy. Happiness is a choice. It's a choice. It's a state of mind that you choose to be in. Joy is temporary. Joy is temporary. Have you ever watched some funny video last time and they did something funny and you had that burst of feeling that you need to laugh? That's joy. But it goes away. It goes away eventually. Joy is useless. This is what I believe. I personally believe temporary feelings, temporary states of being, temporary states of mind, whatever you want to call it, it's useless. This is why I say, people, you need to be happy. This is why you need to practice. You need to choose to practice to be in a different state. And you will start developing a habit of literally being sad. Okay. There we go. I think it's working now. It should be working. Okay, this is where it's working. Okay, I fixed it. So you gotta understand, if you can go into any place on earth, any job, any place where you feel like usually you're not the happiest, practice having a smile. Look, don't listen to me. This is why I say don't listen to me. I'm just Noisy Pot. Bring a mile, bye. Yo, Shabazz, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. You gotta make sure you never just listen to me. Go out there, bring a smile to your job. Just have a smile, but be wary. This will happen because people notice slight changes. If you can't handle the backlash, if you cannot handle the negativity, there will always be a negative force. Always. There is no just positive. If everyone lived in love and everyone was happy and everyone was full of love and joy and whatever you want to call it, then this world would be a loving place and there would be no hate. But not the case. There cannot be just love and no hate. There has to be both. There can be no light without darkness. There has to be both. So be prepared. Next time you go to your job or wherever you go, that usually it's not the happiest place and you probably don't want to be there. Next time, bring a smile. Bring a smile and start to notice how people react. Because you will start to see that there will be people who will be like, they'll smile with you. I swear to all people, when you can bring a smile to someone's face, do you know what you are doing? You are literally elevating their state of mind in that present moment to the highest state of mind you can be in, which is love. If you are sad, you're not happy. You don't want to be there. You're on the lowest vibration, which is hate. But if you are happy and you are joyful, you're on the highest vibration, which is love. If you are smiling and being that beacon of light, and you are putting out good vibes, you are literally elevating other people's vibration to be on the highest vibration, which is love. If you can stay there, other people will start to be there with you. But be wary. There are other people who will try to bring you down. Start to learn how to deal with the people who try to bring you down. Because this is the problem with a lot of people I've seen. I was once talking to a man. And I was baffled. He has no idea. He's in a relationship right now, and the woman he's with, that he calls his wife, is physically and mentally and spiritually abusive to him. Now, as a man, if a female were to ever hit me, ay, those meals. I took karate, okay? I fought every gender, okay? We didn't see gender, okay? There was one thing that was taught, and it said karate is not about fighting, it's about self-defense. If there is someone who is trying to become a threat to you, whether it be physical, mental, or spiritual, this is what karate is for. It's for defending yourself. So if there is someone who is physically hitting you, it doesn't matter the gender, they are now a threat. This threat has to be removed to the point of no return. And this is what I was taught. So if physically anybody's being abused by anybody, you got to know how to take care of yourself on that realm. But if you are trying to be happy and you are trying to be a better person, you are trying to lift people's spirits, and there are people who are trying to put you down mentally, you got to know how to take care of yourself. What I like to do and how I figured things out is whenever someone would say something to me, I would question them. Say, why did you say that? Why? Just learn. Don't take anything personal. Just ask questions. I swear to you, it will be so much better. If you start learning how to not take things so personally, and you start just asking questions, why did you say that? Like I remember when I was in school, when I was in middle school, and when I was in elementary school, I was bullied all the damn time. I came in, I was like expecting it. I was like, oh well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm here again, and I know it's gonna happen. Yo, Shabazz, thank you so much for joining the family. Free mom, baby. I came in here, right? I come in elementary school, middle school. It don't matter. I knew damn well I was gonna get it. I had these pink Reeboks on. They were these white Reeboks. I tried to draw them red because I wanted to look drippy. That red permanent marker turned pink in a couple hours. I had to go through 5th grade the whole year with pink Reeboks on. Oh, bye, free your mom. Every day, I got it. I made sure I got it. The moment I showed up, I got it. Oh, I got it. But you see, at the end of the day, I started to get used to it and just started to kind of not be affected by it. In terms of where I'm gonna lash out or I'm just gonna say something. So I had to accept it. You know, I had these shoes on. I don't have any other shoes. You know, why are people treating me like this? It took me up until high school to figure it out. Now, high school, people didn't talk down to me like that because I was selling snacks. So I knew everybody in the school. Everybody in the school. I knew every single person because they bought from me. So there was nobody like talking to me like that. So that was 4 years I got that break. But then I went to a prison school. Basically a prison school. It was like an alternative school. I got kicked out of high school later for selling snacks. Long story short, basically I went to a prison school and I still didn't know how to deal with myself, with people then and there. So I just studied everything. I just, I looked at everyone's response. I looked at body language and I just started studying in real life. At this point, I was very attentive and I stopped caring. I just stopped caring because I already was used to it from middle school and elementary school. So I didn't care anymore. But there was a specific thing that I learned. And I learned that if you're a quiet person, you're the quiet person in the group, you're the quiet person in school, that is seen as weakness. If you are seen as someone who is happy and joyful, you smile a lot, you laugh a lot, that is seen as weakness. If you are seen as someone who, like, for example, someone said something to you and it may be banter or teasing or whatever, and you laugh, that is seen as weakness. And there's so much ways to show weakness. And what will happen is people will start to feed off of that. They'll start to feed off of that and they'll start putting their stress onto you because of how they view you as someone who's weak. Weak people want to make other people who they feel are weaker than them weaker. Weak people who feel that others are weaker than them want to make other people feel weaker. And that's why you have all these people who quote unquote bullies and they bully the nerd or whatever the case may be. Because the bully sees the nerd as someone who's weaker than him. So the bully, because of his personal pain and all his personal stress, he wants to make the nerd feel weaker by putting his stress constantly onto him. But this is another thing. When you start emitting happiness or joy wherever you are, you will start to see that people will try and do this. This is the test. This is the test. This is social hierarchy, baby. This is human psychology. For some reason, there always has to be that person who has to be at the top. For some odd reason. And I found that being at the top is the worst game you can play. Just act like you don't care. Be at the bottom, but move like you're at the top. And this is why you gotta be happy. You gotta spread joy. You have to spread joy, but know how to respond to the bull crap. What I like to do is whenever I'm dilly-dallying, I always have a smile. Look, at this point, these people, they know what happens when I'm going in there. Your mom, baby. I go to different places all the time when I job. I don't go to the same place at the same time all the time. I go to different places, but I always meet different people. Always. And this is what I do. When I started to emit joy, and I started to literally just practice it, I started to realize, I can't fake it. So there's got to be something here that is joyful. There's got to be something that makes me smile. So I just started to do different things. I started to look at myself more, and I started to realize that I like doing things better. And this is just personally me. Like, for example, last time I jobbed, I had to serve 500 people. It was an event. And I had all these tables that were dirty. And in my mind, I'm like, whoa. So me personally, I like speed. I was like, okay, challenge accepted. How can I clear all these quicker than ever before? And then as I was doing it, I'm like, yo, this is so much fun. So like I started to actually have fun in a place that's not supposed to be fun. So in doing that, it brought so much joy to me, where it started to overflow. It started to overflow. And I brought so much joy to other people, because when they came around me, everyone who came in proximity to me always had a smile face. Always. And I like making people laugh. That's another thing I like doing. It's just the more joy you can bring around is the more joy you will bring on someone else's face. And you got to look at it like this. If you come in to an area and you're sad, everyone's going to be sad. That's how it is. Like attracts like. You become like the first 5 people around you. So if you hang around sad people, you're going to be sad. If you hang around happy people, you're going to be happy. If you hang around successful people, you're going to be successful. If you hang around educated people, you're going to be educated. Become like the first 5 people around you. This is why the people, when you have that smiley face, vibey, or when you telling those jokes, vibey, or when you just talking about things that raise the vibration. When you talk about those things and when you be those things, start to notice that people will want to be around you. Now, what I like to do is those people that'll be tripping, but eventually they conform. Those people that be tripping, they're like, hey. Those people that be tripping, I just say thank you. Thank you. It's not enough to say, because I started to realize you can't control someone else. You literally can't. You can only control you. So if you can only control you, then either I'm going to let them win and be sad, or continue to stay happy and just thank them. Now, another thing is, even though you can spread that thank you, it's kind of like a form of acceptance, where if you say like, oh, like let's say, for example, someone calls you fat, right? This is a general example. Someone calls you fat. And then if that may be a little bit true, even a little slightest bit true, and you're just like, oh, thank you. It's kind of like an acceptance thing, where you're accepting their word or whatever, and it's sort of seen as weakness too. So the type of person that may say something like that, you got to decide if you want someone around you. You got to decide if you want someone like that to be around you. Because if you have someone like that to be around you, notice that they're going to continue doing that. So what I do is I understand, look, I'm just going to say thank you. That's what I can do on my part, because I'm still raising my vibration. I'm still raising how I feel, because I'm never going to descend down to someone else's level that's lower. Because if you are spreading hate and you're spreading not happy vibes and you're spreading depression, obviously you're at the bottom of the bottom. You're at the bottom plane. You're working with the lowest vibration. You're working on hate. You hate others because you hate yourself. People who spread depression and people who spread hate, they're only spreading their internal feelings on the external world. That's the thing. You hate yourself, you'll hate everyone else. A man who loves his wife loves himself. A man who hates himself hates everyone else. And this is the same thing with joy. You have joy towards yourself, you have happiness towards yourself. If you're happy, you'll be happy for everyone else. You'll be joyful for everyone else. That always is how it works. But always, there will always be that one person who's like, damn, why are you so happy? Get out of here. You got to thank them. Thank you. That's what I found worked for me in my experiences and my very, very curious journey. I just love watching people. I'm the type of person where I always look in everyone's eye, because I'm not looking at the physical body, I'm looking inside the soul. I'm looking at the mood, I'm looking at how they feel. And the more and more you do that, you can actually pick up on so much more than just the physical self. Because when you look at people, you'll start to realize that there will be people who don't meet you in the eyes, and that is a very big hint onto how they're feeling inside. Someone who can't meet you probably did not have a good day. They're not really feeling confident about themselves. But that person who can meet you feels confident about themselves. Now, it's not always like that. There's many other factors to everything. It's not always like that. It's not always just absolutely one thing. No, there's always many factors. But looking in someone's eyes, that 0.9888 seconds, it's a little bit under 2 if you want to get very technical. That moment you look in someone's eyes, you can see so much. You can feel so much. This is what I had to practice on a lot. I practiced this so much because I wanted to find out if it was real. So I like to test people. I like to get familiar with people. You can see people in under 2 seconds by looking at the soul. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Yes, it's true. But you see, you can't just believe someone saying that and not do it in real life. You'll never know if it's true. Belief is a personalized truth. There is no such thing as truth. There's nothing. The sky is not actually blue. You believe it. The collective consciousness of the people believe the sky is blue. It becomes blue. But if you tell a blind person, hey, the sky is blue, the blind person will say, no, it's not. But how is it true? It's not true. There is no truth. There is just belief. There is no truth. Everything is belief. You believe that my shirt is blue and white because the collective consciousness believes that this is blue and white. You believe I'm on this stream because the collective consciousness believes I'm on this stream. There is only belief. That's it. There is no truth. So you have to understand that if you go into a spot and you spread this joy, you spread this happiness, you spread this whatever, people will perceive you a different way based on their own beliefs, on how they feel about themselves. And you cannot let them destroy you. You gotta come up. You gotta say, you know what? Thank you. If they keep going, leave. You cannot control someone else. You can't. It's impossible. Because they are extremely powerful too. So is that other person. You are too. So is that other person. They are extremely powerful. Not control someone else. Because we all have our own minds. We all have our own personalized spirits. And we all have our personalized physical body. If you all think about it, we're all the same. We're all the same. But you tell someone, hey, do this, do that. You did not actually command or guide them to do anything. It was based on their choices and their reactions and their subconscious responses to life and that response to do it. There is no control on anybody else. So this is why I say just leave. If someone is around you and they're spreading hate or negativity, the only thing you can do is make them conform or you leave. There is no them leave. What the heck? Get the heck out of here with that BS. But there's I can, if I'm in a place where there are people who are just bantering or whatever it may be, teasing or whatever, I understand that that's just testing, and I get that. So I will respond to it in an orderly fashion. But there's a breaker for me. If I meet someone and for some reason they know what I do, or they get wind of what I'm doing, and they say, oh, you can't do it, I immediately, there is no if, and, what's, buts. I don't even talk to them. I don't look at them. I immediately remove them from existence. They will never see me again. Never. Never. Because if someone comes up to you with the BS and starts saying, you can't do this, or you can't do that, or you can't become that, or you can't become your greatest version, or you can't do something that you've always wanted to do, whatever it may be, you want to follow your dreams, blah, blah, blah. If someone wants to put those words onto you, put that hate onto you, you leave immediately. Those are the most dangerous people on the planet. The people who crush dreams are the most dangerous people on the planet. Extremely dangerous. You leave them immediately. There is no point in trying to say, oh, don't say that to me. Oh, why would you? No, you leave. You leave. You leave. And if you can't leave, if you're in a position where you're probably with them for 8 hours and they keep saying it, you gotta start programming your mind. And this is what I like to do. Whenever I'm hit with the BS, don't matter the BS, there is a program you can write in your mind. If you look at your mind and you just start to question things, your mind is like a hard drive on your computer. It stores information and it has all this information and so much information, and the more information you download to it, it's like you're a programmer. It's like you are a literal computer programmer. You can submit commands. You have if statements. You have logic. You are a supercomputer. It's crazy when you start doing things and putting in programs in your mind. You can actually program anything in your mind. You can program any reality. You are a supercomputer. We are the greatest AI. We're the greatest AI. Your computer is in your mind. That mind can submit commands. We have if statements. If this, then that. If else, then that. We work just like a computer. You can submit commands. So what I like to do is I like to say cancel, cancel, cancel. And I say 3 times because 3 represents the master teacher. 3 represents Saturn in astrology. 3 represents Jupiter in astrology. 3 also represents the Trinity. Mind, spirit, and body. It's such a powerful number. If you say something 3 times, this is why they say 3 times a charm becomes true. I don't know why it's 3. I don't know why. But for some reason, with that 3 number, this is why they say 3 times a charm. If you say something 3 times or you do something 3 times, or on that vibration of 3, 6, or 9, it becomes true. And it's such a powerful number. So if someone says, oh, you can't make a YouTube channel, but you're in a position where you're with them, you can't leave, cancel, 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 or delete, delete, delete. And what happens is it won't happen immediately. Nothing happens immediately. You have to start creating a habit. And I learned this from a teacher of my mom. And I started to actually practice this. And I started to realize what happens. You see, when you start inputting programs and you start actually coding your brain with the programs, and you can mess around with this, but I don't recommend doing it without guidance because I wrote some programs in my mind that are very dangerous. And I had to rewrite them. I just love messing with it. I love messing with my mind. And I'm working on a new program right now for my mind. And it's going really well. But you see, with this number 3 times, cancel, 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 or delete, 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 what happens is, I don't know how long it took for me, but what happens is eventually when you start hearing the BS, your mind will actually start to ask you permission. Can I input this program? Like, let's say, for example, someone said, oh, you can't start a YouTube channel. And then after practicing cancel, cancel, cancel for like, let's say a month, what will happen is your brain and that voice in your head will say, can I input this program? And it will say yes or no. It will actually start asking you. Crazy. It's crazy how powerful you are. But they've told us that you are not powerful. They told us that you got to go to school for 18 years and then shave off more years of your life. 4 to 6, 4 to 8, 2 to 8, however long people go to school. Usually average is about 4 years for your bachelor's. You go to school all that time, and then you go to college for all that time, and then you get a job, and then you work that job till you die, and then you die, or you work that job till you retire, become tired again, retire. This is why the English language is so deceiving. It's literally in the word, and people are not defining it correctly. Retire means to become tired again. You don't get a break. You're a slave in the womb to death. As long as you're in this built-in construct. Retire literally means to become tired again. Redo to do it again. Recontinue to continue again. How come all of a sudden retire means you're chilling? Look at the language, y'all. English language is the most dangerous language on the planet, from my experience, because I only speak English and Spanish at this point. Very dangerous language. They got morning and morning sounding exactly the same. Who the hell said it was appropriate to mourn right when the sun rises? Right, when that sun is rising, I'm out. I'm outside. I'm like, yo, son, how you doing? How you doing today? And he's like, same old, man. I'm just shining bright. I'm like, damn, son, that's cool. You a cool ass dude. You gotta understand. You just gotta make sure that, oh wow, talking about the sun, I lost some train of thought. You just gotta make sure you're always moving in a way that you want to live in. You always gotta make sure. And with this mind trick, start playing tricks on your mind. And for all the people, now for me, I have been streaming way before. I have been streaming since 2 years ago, but I took a year break. I've been streaming since 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, Andrew Tate was not on the scene, for me at least. I didn't start learning about Andrew Tate until last month. And there was one thing he said that I totally agree with. Now, I don't agree with everything Andrew Tate says, but I agree with a lot of it. And a lot of the content that people will later see in the future, because I'm gonna keep doing this, baby. I'm gonna keep doing this. A lot of people, they may say, oh, you're just saying what Andrew Tate said. No, I've been talking about the stuff I'm talking about now way long ago. Okay, this ain't new. None of this is new. And people have been talking about this way before. I'm not saying he got it from other people, but I'm just gonna quote him real quick. He said, if you conquer your mind, life becomes easy. And I'm like, huh. If you conquer your mind, life becomes easy. So I'm like, okay, what did he mean by conquer? And then I started to look at how I do things with my mind, and how I found that you can actually code your mind. You are a programmer. Your mind is a computer. And I started to realize when you look at it like that, you can actually start doing some pretty cool things. You can really start doing some pretty cool things. And with that cancel, it will actually ask you permission. Can I input this program? It will happen out of nowhere. But you'll start to know that the cancel, or the delete starts to work. Because that 3 starts inputting a command to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind says, okay, fine, delete or cancel. And you will actually start to realize that unless you accept the program, then it will come as a memory. It will come as a memory in your subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind filters into your conscious mind. And that conscious mind inputs into your physical world. So let's say if someone said, you can't start a YouTube channel, you do the cancel technique, your subconscious mind says, you know what? Or rather, not your subconscious mind. Your ego says, can I input this program? And you say yes. So now you have a program embedded into your subconscious mind. Now it's embedded into your conscious mind. It will manifest on the outside world, and you won't do that YouTube channel. Because now you let someone else's programming into your mind, and you let that command input into your life to make it true. This is why you gotta be careful what you put in your mind. On the outside, and this is why I did a video on you gotta be careful what your circle is. I did it yesterday. I think I did it yesterday. I did it some time ago. It was very recent. You have to be careful what you put in your circle. But this is why you gotta emit joy. Because if you emit joy, you will start realizing that people will be attracted to you. But the people who only want to be on the same vibration as you, the people who want to be joyful. And those are the people that you are helping. Because in turn, if everyone else is happier around you, aren't you happier? Imagine working with a group that wants to kill themselves. Oh my God. Imagine working with a group that is constantly depressed. I can't stand life, blah blah blah. Imagine you're not gonna want to stand life either. You don't want to be depressed too. So the only other choice is to program your mind to be more happier, be more joyful. Every single situation you're in life where you don't want to be there, where you're usually sad, or you're usually depressed, or whatever it may be, program yourself to become the complete opposite, which is happy or joyful. There is always something in that little bit of sadness where there is a little bit of joy. There's always a little bit of darkness, a little bit of light. There's always a little bit of light, a little bit of darkness. Find that joy. Find that thing that makes you smile. All you're looking for is a smile. That's all. Just smile. Smile and start to see things change. It'll be so much better for you. You're not depressed. You just choose to be in a state of sadness and you don't want to be happy. You're not depressed. You just choose not to feel joy. You're not depressed. You just choose that you like to be sad. You can change that though. Write the code in your mind. And the best way to do this, the most easiest way to do this, that I found, is with your words. If you say a word to someone, you are coding their brain. Don't believe me? Do it in real life. Call someone's shirt clean. Call someone's shirt fresh. Call someone's suit real good. Whatever it may be, compliment someone. You are inputting a code into their brain. Watch what happens. Don't believe me? Just go do it, damn it. Go do it. Just go do it. Go out there and look at the simple things. Hey man, you got a nice suit. What happens? If statements. Come on, man. You can't say we're not computers. We got computers. We work just like AI. We work the same exact way. If I say this, then that happens. Anybody who's familiar with computer language, but we all have logic, just like a computer. Computers have logic, just like we do. Say someone has a nice shirt. Hey, Noisy Fox, you got a nice shirt. You black, right? Thank you. Hey, dude, you got an ugly shirt. Watch what happens. You are inputting programs with your words. Your words is like typing code in the computer. You can become great just like that. You can code things just like that. You can change your life just like that. And a lot of things take a lot of different time. A lot of things take a long time. Just like, let's say, for example, you want to create an app. The app isn't going to be made in 1 second. No, it's going to take time. Depending on how good the app is, it's going to take quality. It's the same thing with your mind. And I truly believe if you want 5 million Bugattis, you want 5 million Ferraris, if you want a big house, huge house, you want anything in life, I truly believe that the more and more you find ways to program your mind in physical, spiritual, and mental realm, I truly believe that if you constantly program and write programs in your mind will actually manifest that reality. I truly believe that because I see it all the time. I see it all the time on a small scale because people want to look at the huge picture but not look at the small things. The small things is all the truth you need. Don't believe that I'm saying your computer can input programs and output programs. Go do it. I said your word can input code into someone else's computer. Input code into someone else's mind. Call someone ugly. Call someone pretty. There is an if statement going on. There is something going on in their mind. You are putting programs. Stop looking at the big picture. People, I remember going to Walmart and someone said, "Oh, I wish I was rich." What? You can't wish. You gotta manifest that every day. You have to. Because you have to input the program. Wishing means you don't got it. You ain't gonna get it. You can wish all you want. Ain't nothing gonna happen. You gotta input the programs every day. And I'm not saying I know how to become rich. Period. But I know for sure that if you go out there and you use your words on someone, it has an effect. Same thing with a smile. If you have a smile, it will have an effect on someone. So instead of making other people feel bad, make them feel good. And in turn, they will make you feel good too. But you don't do it because you want others to make you feel better. You do it because you simply just want to make others. That's all. You just want to be that person who's just happy. Because the only alternative is to sit there and be a wallop of sadness. It's the only alternative. Why do that? Just be happy. Just be glad. Just go in there. Just be your best self. Don't care what other people think. Just be your best self. Just chill out, baby. Chill out. Just chill out, baby. And your life will change. I had to see the chat real quick because I wasn't sure if people on YouTube were texting. Y'all, we streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. At the same time. Y'all, this is the greatest thing that has ever happened in history of my career. At the same time, it's crazy. I know it may not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but hey, it's a giant step for mankind, and a small step for man. Okay. And by the way, we took that step, and I'm so happy. But that's all I really gotta say on this stream. Oh, y'all make sure y'all radiating your light. You are being happy. You constantly have a smile, or not constantly, because sometimes if I laugh too much, my jaw is gonna be like. I'd say when you're around others, just admit happiness, admit that joy. When you're by yourself, do things that, make you feel happy, or do things that make you want to be happy. And those things, just keep doing it every day. You start to program a reality you want. Think of it like a race, right? A flat road. You're running. And while you're running, there is two paths you can take. Both of them lead to the finish line. But there's two paths. And you can only take these two paths. You run. If you take the left path, it's the path to happiness. You're going to have a predetermined outcome. Eventually you're going to die, right? Eventually you're going to die. But if you take the right path, that path is the path to sadness. Eventually you're going to die. They're both predetermined outcomes. So if you live in a state of happiness, you will live happy. And then you will die happy because you took that left path. But if you take that right path, you will live sad and you will die sad. So it's all about choosing how you want to be, how you want to be for yourself, and how you want to be around others. So with that being said, I hope y'all have a good ass day. Y'all make sure y'all go on the TikTok. TikToking your time down the drain. Oh my God, TikTok. Bet you we gotta do a social media stream because TikTok is crazy, man. TikTok is just crazy. Y'all make sure you go on that and make sure. What's going on? Is the desktop audio on? No, the desktop audio should not be on. Y'all make sure y'all head on over to the Twitch on the About page, baby. Oh, that's not where's the channel? Okay, here's channel. Y'all make sure y'all head over to the channel and y'all go to the About page where you'll see my commands, which are actually not there anymore. I gotta change that. Y'all go to my contact page, About Me page, donate page, it's all there. Contact page will lead you to a link that sends you to all of my things, and you'll see all of that. And I hope y'all like the new intro. Let me flex real quick. With the intro. Let me flex. Hold on. What I mean is so fire. Let me flex. I know y'all see that. That thing looks fire. Oh, it's beautiful. Do you like the music? Y'all already know, man. The music playing in the background with the vibes. It's all me. It's all me. All me, baby. So, I hope y'all have a good last day. Yo, Shabazz, thank you again for joining the family. Thank you for being you. You are an amazing being. And know that and live that every day. And to all the people who were watching on different platforms, I don't know where you are. I don't even know who watches. I just be here. I don't even know. So to all the people who made themselves present today, you are amazing. I am so grateful for you. And you keep living your best life. Make sure to stay happy. And y'all, have a good last day. I'll see y'all next Sunday, hopefully, or before. Make sure you more than once. Y'all make sure to follow so y'all know. But anyway, y'all, peace out, man. Stay happy. freaking